Hey guys, welcome back for some more Monogatari Mondays. We are now having episode 7 of Owarimonogatari, and I believe the second episode of the Sodachi Lost Arc. Or actually, it's the third episode. Anyways, it doesn't matter, because all the episodes we've seen so far have dealt with Sodachi in some way or the other, right? In any case, last episode, we start to unravel a little bit more about Sodachi's past, get to know her a little bit more, including, how she clearly has some mental problems, and honestly, she needs psychological help more than anything else. She needs to see a psychiatrist or something. But, beyond that, she has now stated a quite direct plea or request, I guess I should say, which is to find her mom, or at least get to the bottom of the truth of what happened to her mom. And I have my guesses, some of which are more of the darker variety, but I don't know. Like I said before in the last episode, I don't really think Monogatari is a series that will go like that dark. I mean, it does deal with some dark things and killings and bloodshed and so on and so forth, but yeah, I just don't quite see it going there, but hey, it could be very well be so, right? Or, of course, it's just a red herring and a wild goose chase that we were purposely led to due to the on-screen visuals and whatnot. In any case, let's just get into the episode. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Detective Hanikawa. Oh, of course, Oki would come out. She's the one who says that she's a detective, right? Okay. That kind of. Yeah, I guess that is true, right? Because at the very end, dude, the reason Hanukkah won out was she blurted that out, right? Is this also a grudge as to her own body figure? Damn, Oki. Did they actually explain things to her already? I mean, I guess it's not that important, but I mean, I'm kind of really interested in her theory of it. I'm still like super confused by this opening. Like, what is it supposed to? What is it supposed to symbolize? Like, does she have a twin? Does she have bipolar disorder? Does she... Wow. Anyways, I'm not being serious with those guesses, by the way. Alright, do tell, Ogi. Yeah, she's holding her grudge because of that. Come on, let's go for it with this, or... And by the way, I'm actually quite curious why Ogi is trying to do this. I feel like she knows full well that that Araki would never be able to do something like that. Oh. She's gonna be like, I already know the answer. 10 seconds. What? Oh, this is helping her think? Really? I mean, I think it's not just thinking, her hair. Oh? Are they actually going to go with the dark solution? I still feel like there's like some other twist that I haven't thought of. Oh, so are we gonna start thinking from... Hmm. Yeah, no. I think it has more to do with Sodachi. No. Yeah, that's my biggest question as well, and that's why number two. Number two was basically, you know, my sort of worst, darkest solution, right? But the question is, of course, hint four. Like, where's the corpse? She was dead from the beginning, right? Suicided? Right. I think Aragi got the point now. Aragi is just refusing. Just refusing to accept it, eh? So, okay. Starved to death, eh? Alright. Although, honestly, that sounds kind of ridiculous as well, if I'm going to be entirely honest. I think basically Sodachi is. No, I think it would make actually more sense if Sodachi actually, yeah, if she actually realizes this, but she's choosing to consciously block it instead. I mean, a body just for 2 years doesn't just decompose into nothing, alright? I feel like she probably knows, to be honest. And now it's just a matter of forcing her to confront the truth. Like maybe she's repressing it subconsciously or something. Well, is it going to be this straightforward though? Hmm? Oh, really? Epilogue. So this is the straightforward ending to this. Huh. Yeah, she changed her voice. You know, like I said, it makes much more sense for her to actually know about this. So just a passing memory just like that? Really? That's gotta be a fourth wall break. Yee casting. Well, thank you, Ogi-chan, for saying what I have on my mind, and I'm sure a lot of people have on their minds as well. In the end, how it all begins. Mayoi? I mean, I still heavily question defining Sodachi as a childhood friend. They met like once for like what, 2 hours? Is there gonna be a surprise at the classroom? Sanjugahara? Just like that. No. No. Yep. Under the decks. What's inside? Or is it just like some sort of memento to something that once before? You're not gonna tell us? He's not gonna tell us. God damn you, Aragi! Alright. See you guys after this. Well, alright guys, so I guess this is the last time we will see of Sodachi, right? And, you know, why did I have a hunch that we were not going to see what was in the envelope at the very end there? Aragi! You know, really, it's anyone's guess as to what that actually is, right? Is it like, you their common bond is still mathematics, right? So I guess that could be one of it, teachings or some final riddles or questions or so on and so forth. Like, I don't know. And I guess in a lot of ways it's probably irrelevant as well. I mean, it is at the very least a satisfactory conclusion to all. Will Sodachi be able to use this as a way to, to like, the thing here is I don't really quite understand if this really represents that Sodachi is going to be willing to love herself and to live a fulfilling life going forward, right? It seems that, like, she took the news in stride, right? But again, I have my suspicions as to why she would. But the thing that I don't quite get is why, in the end, all that hatred that that Sodachi was harboring, right? The fact that she needed to hate someone or whatnot. Why is it all of a sudden gone now? Because of this, right? Just because Araragi helped solve this mystery that's been bugging her. That was literally it, or what? So that's the part that I don't quite get yet. I do feel like it was kind of convenient that, hey, they kind of just made up after all of this without further ado. Like, I mean, to be fair, this is the logical conclusion to this, right? The logical outcome, because it really wasn't Aragi's fault in the first place. But still, to just simply, vanish all your resent and hatred, just literally in the last episode, she was still going on a rampage and whatnot. And even if, how can I put this? Like, the resentment she had was because nothing could be done to her family, right? And yet, this further cements things. Or is it just a case that, okay, because, both her parents, her dad she doesn't care about, her mom is officially dead, so now she can finally move on with her life and not live within the shadow of her parents anymore? That's the part that I feel like is still a bit ambiguous, right? So, maybe some of you guys can further explain a little bit more on that part. But let's put that aside for now and talk about the actual happenings, right? So I did find it kind of funny that Hanekawa was saying that, man, it takes an insane person to jump to that kind of conclusions, right? And I gotta say, the actual conclusion here was not on the level of, like, darkness and twistedness and whatnot. I don't really think it was all that far to the realm of insanity. For me, the darkest thing that could have happened is actually an Aragi's second guess, right? Which is that that Sodachi actually killed her mom. And I mentioned last episode how they were really making it into that sort of horror situation with the visual imagery, with handling of the knives, using fire and whatnot, and the ominous music in the background, using that kind of method. It seemed that they were laying on quite thick there, and so that's actually, among other things, what tipped me off as to, okay, I think they're being a little bit too overt with this, so that couldn't have been a solution, right? Other things that so basically the darkest thing I could have thought of was that Sodachi actually killed her mom and then simply repressed her memories of the entire situation. Now, the reason that I didn't go for this theory in the end was because of, actually 3 reasons. One, which I just mentioned before, in that I feel like the episode was laying it a little bit too much, being overtly hintful in that matter, so that's why it kind of push me away from this theory. That's number 1. Number 2 is in the I couldn't really understand, like, how the body, how Sodachi could have disposed of the body, right? That's the second thing. Basically those 2 big things nullify this particular theory for me, right? So moving that aside, so the next darkest thing or twisted thing would be actually that Sodachi's mom committed suicide, right? She hanged herself, she slit her wrist, her throat, I don't care, like some kind of suicide situation. And once again, she was actually discovered by Sodachi, but Sodachi simply decided to kind of repress those memories as well, due to trauma and whatnot, like just shutting that out, and continuing to carry on life as usual, refusing to believe that her mom is dead, right? That's the second more twisted version of things that I was thinking of that could have happened. So basically they were going to have to, like, forcefully like wake her and say, no, you actually fully know what happened to your mom. It needs to bring back that trauma, bring back those memories, but then help her move on from it, right? So that was the more plausible one that I was thinking of, actually. But once again, the fact that I didn't really want to go into that direction because I still felt that it seemed a bit dark, even for a series like Monogatari, right? Which, again, even though has a lot of twisted situations, messed up situations, and whatnot, doesn't really quite go into that kind of despair and dissonance, right? So, moving that aside. And so, the actual thing that happened here, or at least what they believe happened anyways, is I think, it's still a messed up situation, don't get me wrong, because you literally had Sodachi living with a corpse for like, who knows how many years. But I think all things considered, especially the fact that they didn't have to confront the sites and whatnot, made things a lot more mild, in a sense. Even though, again, even with that kind of explanation, I do have a lot of more realism sort of problems with that. Like, I get it, this is Monogatari, we're not supposed to be, take too much attention to the realistic realism and the details and whatnot, but I'm just saying though, a dying corpse, by all accounts, should completely stink, right? And the fact that she, like, even if it was just sort of like an apartment or whatnot, like even a house, a typical American rural house, it would stink up the entire place within like a week or so. To actually live with that for 2 years, the smells and whatnot, I just find that hard to believe. And not to mention, like, 2 years. Where do you think the bones go, right? Sure, the body would decompose. It would be like, it would basically turn into like corpse water or something of that sort. There would definitely be a lot of bugs and whatnot around it. And most of all, the bones would still be there, right? The skeleton would still be there. So I have no idea how everybody managed to miss the fact that there's a skeleton, there's a dead body there, right? I find that highly unbelievable. But still, if that's the explanation that they're going for, then so be it. But at least to me, I feel like it would have been, even if they were going to go to this kind of explanation, where her mother did not really commit suicide, but simply could not muster the will to eat, and so essentially starve to death, right? As they point out, deciding to suicide is different from having a will to live, right? So, but anyways, it kind of makes things feel a little bit better, right? I still feel that for me to have it make sense would still be for Sodachi to actually know about the situation. In fact, she probably, once she opened the door, maybe she did see the rotting corpse, or at least the skeletons and whatnot, and once again repressed it from within her memories because of trauma, right? And for that to happen, to me that would still be the more be the more reasonable explanation here. But I guess it doesn't really matter at the very end, because what does matter is that her mom is dead, and so that she now fully realizes this, right? It's gotten into her head. She whether or not it was just a misunderstanding or repressed memories or whatnot, doesn't matter. She knows about the situation and she fully accepts it now, right? And so that's the end of the story, if you will. But like I said, it's to me, it's still kind of puzzling, because even though we solved that, we don't really solve the entire resentment that was being harbored in the first place, right? Even though, sure, it's a sort of a step towards making up, but is it really that easy to let go of the grudge? I don't know. But, I guess people do want a happy ending, a good ending, right? And as we see at the very end there, so that she did revert back to her more, I would say, more normal voice, or a voice more fitting of how she looks like, right? Instead of one that's like raspy and like crazy old woman kind of voice. And so I think that's, and seeing her, smiling, with that kind of, that kind of a cute face and character design, I think that's what we all want. And I like how Ogi kind of broke the fourth wall there at the very end, saying that the casting was brilliant, and so and so on and so forth. But hey, that's what Monogatari likes to do, right? Breaking the fourth wall. So yeah, and that pretty much concludes the entire happening of events and whatnot. So, let me know what you guys think about those other theories, and if there actually is any sort of ambiguity regarding the actual events and whatnot, because, I think I've mentioned before in the past that I don't really think all the stories in Monogatari are supposed to be fully factual, right? They are told from a point of view perspective after all. So it could be possible that the truth is something else, but it doesn't really matter for at least for the purposes of the story, right? And so since we are now 7 episodes into this this arc, I know it's technically 2 arcs, but it's still all revolving around Sodachi, right? Now, my other main question here is, what does this actually represent for the series, right? So all the other characters, all the other arcs that we've seen so far have moved forward with character development and moved forward with story, right? Even though they're seemingly unrelated, they all kind of tie together in the end. But this is a different kind of situation, right? Because Sodachi is not going to be one of the permanent cast here, right? Not even like a main, like not a main character, but like an important side character, if you will. So the fact that she's gone now, like what does this tell us about the entire story, about Aragi or any of the other characters, right? What development is there? So I guess the main point of this particular arc is to allow us to know a bit more about Aragi's past, how he became the way he is right now, and maybe also simplifying, the fact that what made you become like this would also help you know how you should change in the future, right? Like maybe not be so antisocial in a lot of ways. Well, I guess technically Aragi isn't antisocial, but you guys know what I mean. His sort of kind of weirder behavior from his other peers, if you will. So I think that's maybe important, knowing a little bit more about Aragi's past, even before, way beyond anything that we've seen so far, right? Even before he met, he met. God, why can't I remember her name? Dang it, why can't I mean, way before. What's Vampire Girl called? I honestly can't remember. Okay, I honestly suck at names. I'm not talking about Senjugahara, like even before Senjugahara and Hanekawa. But yeah, anyways, that's beside the point. What I'm saying here is that this allows us to see a little bit more further into Aragi's past, maybe understand his character a little bit more, and maybe that will help us glean more insight into what will eventually come of the whatever trials that Ogi is going to put him through, right? And again, I feel like knowing your past, knowing what shaped you this way, will also help shape you, know how to shape yourself for the future as well. So I think that's what this particular arc is for here, in a sense. And also, of course, to introduce Ogi, though she doesn't really need introduction, but it was kind of interesting to see like how, and from the very, very early introductions, she was kind of always a sort of a thorny character from the beginning, right? In fact, a lot more so than I think was portrayed in the other earlier series and episodes here. I think that's basically it for my thoughts in this. So again, like if any of you guys are able to explain a little bit further, like in regards to the entire resentment, do you guys feel that just by solving this particular mystery, Sodachi is supposed to completely forget her resentment towards Araki or whatnot? Does that make sense in a way? I don't know, right? So that's one thing, and the others, of course, is I don't know, like maybe what were in those envelopes? What does the imagery in both the openings here and the last one mean, right? Like, why are there 2 Sodachis kissing each other and merging into one, and things like that? What about the sort of Morse code? Well, technically not Morse code, right? It's just simply the katakana or hiragana translated into numbers and made into a song. Like, does that have any specific meaning or not, or is this just for flair purposes and so on and so forth? Do let me know. And yeah, oh, holy shit, I'm almost talking for 15 minutes now. Anyways, that's it for this particular arc. And once again, definitely the biggest, my biggest love for this particular arc would have to be the last episode. I love that outburst from Sodachi. I love that sort of adherence to reality, in a sense, in how that is someone who is mentally ill, does act, and the challenges of actually bringing them bring them to their senses and helping them move forward, right? So that's why this is anime, right? And here we do get a happy ending of sorts, right? At the very least for Araki, his conscience is cleared because he believes that Sodachi is moving towards a better future. Hey, maybe yes, maybe no, we don't really know, but we can at least hope so, right? So anyways, thank you guys for this episode, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.